For a really long period of time, Kong has actually grown a lot taller and has grown even stronger. Because the survival on Skull being actually much more easier, thanks to more visits from a certain Gojira, he was able to practically survive through his training and, of course, many other things. Kong, of course, grew immensely powerful, which is increasing due to Skull, of course, actually being much more or less of a challenge to him. Because of Kong actually having the natural potential of his greatest species, with the greatest species barely having the adaptability of practically going stronger through battle, which is something that Kong practically was able to gain with a little bit more. Something which is akin to a rage boost, which practically allowed him to grow stronger the more angry he got in battle. And because of this, Kong was able to grow immensely more powerful, to a point that he was able to grow more taller even faster over the years. With his height now reaching an astounding 120 meters. In comparison to other great apes, he was considered to be one of the tallest currently, with his power now even reaching to practically match a past Gojiras if he was to face them. Of course, Kong was in one of his containers, practically containing him for practically going out to face Godzilla. Even though Kong didn't want to do that. He is an Alpha Titan, but he does respect Godzilla because he senses his presence just like Godzilla can do, since Alpha Titans can practically sense each other. Kong, of course, will be relaxing in his Sorna, practically trying to not think about it too much, since he knows that the humans will not understand the Titans' rules. But eventually he gets tired, eventually utilizes one of the tree branches to practically make himself a weapon, and eventually pierces his Sorna, able to practically make a hole. Of course, some scientists will practically tell tell everyone that they should move Kong. Of course, they'll be kind of reluctant at first, but eventually, with the convincing of Gia, they'll able to practically able to move Kong after some time. Of course, Kong practically relax, seemingly as he cannot do anything. They also probably would decide to restrain Kong since they don't want him to escape or anything like that. Of course, Kong be kind of reluctant to doing that, but with Gia's help calming him down, he most likely decided to practically accept that since it's not bothering him as much. Though he'll be really bored on the way, since it's mostly in water and nothing else, and raining sometime, which will get Kong really bothered, but he'll just get annoyed at it much. But he'll be able to practically live with it as this is just for now, as he believes that his way on the whole Earth will most likely help him practically get new to his surroundings, since he has not been there. He has heard of it through myths from the other species and that he heard a long time ago, but he's not sure if it's true or not. Of course, Jen just looks out for Kong, making sure that he is okay. Of course, she can sense Godzilla's presence nearby, but she's not sure if he will attack them or not. She's kind of scared, but she believes in Kong. As for Kong himself, he just smiles, seemingly appreciating Gia's presence around him. She's been the only person who practically understood him back when he was basically alone. With, of course, some of Gia's species being a Dryas, is practically accepting Kong, and Kong was really happy that Gia had lived. He was actually the one who saved her back a long time ago, so he believes in her. But eventually he looks to the side and eventually spots something, though he just gives his calm smile as he spots Godzilla, with of course the big G just looking back at Kong, calmly and just letting out a little growl, seemingly appreciating that Kong is going his way to Whole Earth. This Godzilla believes that he'll be much more comfortable there than on Skull Island, since it's much more smaller currently. Of course, both times we just look at each other, giving each other both a respectful nod. Would you actually looking to see Godzilla? She of course would be scared to try to warn the others, but Kong will place his hand in front of her, seemingly shaking his hand and tell her that everything is alright with sign language. Of course, Jews had to practically believe Kong, and eventually Godzilla will leave as he huffs and wishes Kong good luck. Kong nods and eventually leaves with everyone. Of course, 2 days later, he's able to arrive on the Hollow Earth itself, with no attacks from Godzilla, most likely able to arrive much more early on than the original. Because, of course, Kong will able to practically enter the Hollow Earth itself, with him basically having a really good time, exploring the space which is so new to him, yet he feels he's at home. It's so much spaceful than even in Skull Island itself. And even so, he actually feels himself growing stronger as he's around this area. It's like a natural habitat for his species. It's like the more he's here, the stronger he becomes. Kong, of course, is immensely impressed, while the other humans who practically join him still will decide to practically do what they must. Kong, of course, explores the whole Earth and eventually finds a hidden temple. Kong, of course, is surprised, but he feels familiarity with this temple, like he's been here before, or he has the feeling of it. Maybe his mother was here when she was praying with him, but he's not quite sure. Kong just has this feeling inside him that he's so familiar with this space, yet he doesn't know it at the same time. As for the humans, they utilize their ships, which were able to get from Apex, cybernetics, so they can practically enter the whole Earth with Kong. Since Kong practically is immune to the ability of the whole Earth, practically changing the gravity space around them. Kong eventually found the axe, which was made from the Godzilla's dorsal plates. Of course, Kong be confused of why Godzilla's dorsal plate is doing here. Of course, he's confused, but eventually he's able to find a written signs, with the signs seemingly showing other Gojira's, which actually were against the peace that the other Gojira's accepted. Of course, this was actually a really small amount, with only at least 1% of the Gojira's doing that. Of course, they were killed by the Great Speech. They eventually made weapons. Of course, the other Gojira's were kind of disgusted by the Greats doing that, but they did understand the frustration that the Greats went through with dealing with them. So they decided to practically accept that, and eventually even offered one of their dead members to practically be accepted as a weapons, so the Greys can practically have their own powers and establish rule against others if made necessary. Of course, Ko actually sees a picture of his mother and father, and his father is actually the previous general who practically lead the Great Apes armies a long time ago, though he retired after meeting his mother and eventually decided to practically go to Skull Island, which is around near the whole Earth. Which of course the whole Earth portal was closed after some time because the Skull Claw was attacking the great species which live on Skull Island. Of course Kong is in shock as his father practically has a royal bloodline, or even he himself. But he's not against that, and he decides to accept that as he is now putting himself to be worthy of his throne, the throne of his father. Kong sits here and eventually ponders. It feels kind of right to be here. It feels really welcoming, like he's really at home. Kong is happy and eventually roars, showing his gratitude from being here. But some of the humans actually were able to stole some of the horror's energy while nobody was looking. And of course, we go to Apex Cybernetics, and inside the buildings, we see a titan rising, something made out of metal, so big and huge that it's almost scary. It's even taller than even Godzilla himself, with this beast reaching an astounding 180 meters in height. This beast was none other than Mega Godzilla. As now they're currently testing some of the horror's energy to see how far it can actually charge their powerful mechas. And of course, Mega Godzilla will practically kill one of the Skullcrawlers. Of course, we won't try to practically escape, but eventually will be slammed to the ground with a fist. As we see Mecha Kong appearing. Because of the appearance of both Godzilla and Kong, Apex Cybernetics is practically built not one but two mechas. Mechas which were powerful enough to rival both Godzilla and Kong, with the Mecha Kong easily able to tear off the Skullcrawler's head with ease. His height actually being almost close to original Kong, but being a centaur, reaching 130 meters. Both of them were built from titanium in one of the most toughest metals, which made them incredibly powerful. Mechakon does not have the same arsenal as Mechagodzilla, not having the missile type weaponry, but his armor, which is practically built from titanium and liquid metal, was built for him to be much more agile and incredibly durable in battle. As for Mechagodzilla himself, he was built with the proton screen from his mouth to even his tail, which has a laser tip, which can practically slice through almost anything. But of course, eventually the two mechas run out of energy because of Order's energy only being potent enough to charge the two of them for only around an hour. But these experiments weren't just enough for the boss of Apex Cybernetics to see how far his two mechas can go. But Godzilla actually fell to mechas and being threatened by something inside those mechas as he felt something really different. He roars, seemingly enraged as he feels it. And eventually attacking some Apex Cybernetics camps so he can find information about them. And Kong actually feels the same, as he can actually sense the Mechanic Kong energy. It's the whole Earth itself. Kong has been here for only a day, but he can actually feel the horror's energy outside of the whole Earth itself, which is confusing him. Why? Why is the whole Earth's energy outside? It doesn't make sense. Kong is confused and eventually hears Godzilla's roar. And he roars as well, seemingly wanting to practically respond to Godzilla's roar. Godzilla hearing Kong's roar realizes that Godzilla's not the only one who's sensing it. Kong as well. Godzilla is confused and even more shocked. He senses around the Earth should not be failing him, right? Or is something hiding? Godzilla has a strange feeling that something, something that he feels from this presence is familiar. Both those presents, there were two, not just one. The one felt so familiar, and the other, it also felt familiar. Godzilla is confused and tries to ponder really hard, and eventually is shocked. This presence, no, it can't be. Ghidorah? But how? He remembers that he killed him. He was on atomic pulse. He even blasted him in outer space. How could this be? Godzilla ponders really hard, trying to practically find any type of information on how Ghidorah could be back. But eventually, he finds one solution. The humans. They might have used Ghidorah's skulls. He remembers that back a long time ago, other Ghidorahs were killed by his father, and most likely their skulls were spread around the Earth itself after it was split to multiple continents. So most likely it would make sense. But why does he feel his Ghidorah's energy instead of the other Ghidorahs? It wouldn't make sense unless Godzilla remembers inside his own head, realizing the mistake he has done. He ripped one of Ghidorah's heads off, which means that they have not only just a couple of heads inside, but they also might have had the energy which Ghidorah has as well. Because Ghidorah's DNA is immensely powerful on its own, and mixed with something mechanical is that Godzilla is pondering if he can actually face this threat. Though he is not bothered by it, he feels that it's threatening him and both Kong. So Godzilla wants to do something, something very risky but possible. Godzilla roars, suddenly implying a call of joining forces. Kong hears this call and actually responds with his own, agreeing to Godzilla's call for parties to join forces. Godzilla smiles, seemingly happy that Kong is the one to actually join forces with him. Godzilla then is able to utilize his ability to practically contact Mothra and tells her to make sure that the humans are safe while him and Kong deal with this unknown threat. Mothra agrees to Godzilla's request and she flies away, with Godzilla deciding to go to a city where Mega Godzilla and Mega Kong are. But this is the end for this part.